But I wanted to only be on 2 Kroxa, and I wanted to cut the island because we're playing Kroxas. And then I also cut the third Kroxa for Terminate, and that's the big change here. Why is Drown Lock in the deck? Just for more removal interaction. Drown's really, really good. I don't think the card actually answers Murktide. I mean, Drown Lock can kill Murktide where like other cards can't. I actually think that she'll be surprised, and that I think Drown Lock will actually kill Murktide more often than you expect it to. But it's not in the deck for Murktide region. It just does tend to play really well on these shells. Why couldn't we kill the token with Drown? We could, but then they get 2 more tokens with Saga. I was just off of it. And that's all. Like, ideally, I was gonna be able to save the Drown for like a top deck Titania and draw any other card in my entire deck to deal with the token by just drew like 4 lands in a row, right? 10 creatures seems low. It is low, but you have to remember that Kroxa is an inevitable win condition, right? Kroxa is just going to win the game for you at some point. We also have Lurrus, so it's 11 creatures, but Kroxa is such a resilient threat that you don't need to play more creatures. You have all these iterations to find a Kroxa, then your Kroxa is, if it dies, it comes back to life. Yeah, Drown helps a lot against the Cascade decks, so we're not playing as much hate for those in the sideboard. Playing against Lurrus, this hand is fine against Lurrus. I think I'm gonna bubble myself on my turn first. But I deep in the tank on my Mishra's Bauble, huh? We have a Ragavan on top. It's probably keepable. Like the Bauble Darcy Lurrus constrained deck building a lot. I agree, yeah. Absolutely. But they also like open up to like other cards becoming viable. Like in the Demi Lich deck, Gutshots felt like a really good main deck card. Playing its mill, interesting. Yeah, like Gutshots felt like a good main deck card. Spellstarter Sprite in the Jeskai deck was really strong because of the dynamic of the metagame. Opponent, please. Opponent, please. Either surgical my baubles or don't, but let's There's a Terminate on top. Let me go ahead and kill this. Alright, cast a trap. Probably have one. Yep. Just one. I'm gonna fetch on my turn, just in case they draw another trap. Gonna get a bolt for another crab, too. Maybe we can mill over Tasha's Hideous Laughter ourselves, huh? I get to kill the crab. You get to draw 3 cards for 1 mana. It's pretty good, huh? I guess we have Iteration to also do that. We have also, if we mill over Tasha's here, I'm thrilled. Just a land, unfortunately. Alright, Iteration. I was hoping to find another 1 mana discard spell. Let me go, I guess. Hand, bottom, exile, don't cast Iteration, cast Inquisition, because we don't want to die to Tasha's. Okay, they're a bit flooded, that's really good for us. They're super flooded, actually. Why not dash Monkey? People dash Monkey way too aggressively. You don't really, in this matchup, you don't want to spend 2 mana on Monkey every single turn. In this matchup, you want Monkey to be generating you mana advantage. But people like just dash Monkey on turn 2, I think, way too aggressively, especially in matchups like this where it's not that likely to die. I think that you're not on turns 1 and 2, you're really not supposed to dash Monkey that often. Sometimes you are. If like you're playing against a deck with a really low mana curve, and hitting like almost any card in their deck to cast would be good for you, and against decks with sorcery speed removal. Also a bit unlucky. I guess we only have 2 Kroxa in the deck right now. Why did I drop last league? I submitted the deck with the deck list was like a little off what I wanted to play. I submitted it this morning without making the changes I wanted to. Can't complain too much about that. But we milled over Kroxa. Missed that. Maybe I should have attacked first too, because I don't think they're gonna block. For Darkslick Shores, their hand is 3 lands. The new card. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, I'm sure just kills us here. Crypt Incursion is really good too, holy crap. Runs up to 24 life. Alright, let's hit Tasha's. Excuse me. They put Lurrus in their hand. Fatal Push Ragavan. Well, pretty good for them. Kinda hate putting cards in the graveyard in this matchup, but I have a crab on top. I think it's go Lurrus, crab. Ugh. Man, if we had drawn the drown this turn, guess we're dead. They've got no cards left in their hand, but they still have the Field of Ruin, which is a bit obnoxious. Let's see if we have a target here. Do. We're just dead to the crabs, though. We can drown the Lurrus, but then we're just dead to the crab Field of Ruins. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the 4th Thoughtseize. Gonna bring in the Unearth. As you do, board up a couple cards in this matchup. Probably just doing this. Wouldn't E be good against crabs? I don't really feel like it is that good against crabs. It's okay. It's like, it's good if they have 2 crabs. But if they only have 1, it's not a very good answer, especially when you have like all these 1-mana removal spells in your deck. And you also have like a lot of 1-drops in your deck too that are theoretically in play, you know? We put back the Kroxa. I kind of just want them to mill that over. I think I cast a discard spell on turn 1. Stands pretty bad against Archive Trap. Yeah, Molda 1. Yeah, it is funny when you mulligan in this matchup, you have more cards in your library. Opponent, please let my Mishra's Bauble resolve. Opponent. Okay, they have Tasha's Hideous Laughter on top, so we'll keep that in mind and save the 2nd discard spell for that. Or I guess we could maybe just play Darcy instead. But I'm kind of worried about a crab on turn 1. Like, yeah. Gust Inquisition. Okay, so they have 2 removal spells for Darcy. We just take their turn 1 crab. Yeah, imagine someone in paper, you cast Mishra's Bauble, they just stare at you blankly for 2 minutes. The Surgical Inquisition on their main phase, which is a deal. I accept this trade deal. Surgical Inquisition on your main phase. I think Celestia Hate Bears is viable now with the rise of Jeskai Rakdos. Spider Voice, but Leaf Liege all seem pretty good. I don't know. I mean, the card Unholy Heat specifically, I think, has really diminished the stock in Celestia Hate Bears, unfortunately. I probably should have fetched this turn, actually. Yeah, so they drowned the Darcy. We get to untap. Discard their Tashas. Let me go ahead and just... get a Watery Grave here. Why no Grixis Triumph, huh? Oh yeah, they didn't even take the Inquisition out of the yard. Alright, that was their draw step. They put their Lurrus into their hand. We might be joining them here. Let's see what they're drawing. Watery Grave. Be good if we could draw a land and go Lurrus, Bauble, and Unholy Heat their Lurrus next turn. This is one that I would have preferred to get milled over, of course. I think there's a viable 8-rec deck with Bridge main, or is Red Black too dominant in the format? Yeah, there's a lot of artifact hate in the metagame in general, so I don't feel like Bridge is in a particularly good spot. Yeah, they have their draw 3 in their hand, so I don't want to let them get their crab and get their draw 3 off. They draw trap. They did. Going for 13. They draw 3. It's like a bad matchup, chat. I think Prismari Command is a card worth playing in blue-red decks? Not really. Discard Field of Ruin. Alright, Tasha's me to death. Fractured Sanity to be down to 10 cards in library. It's not... well, it's still alive. I haven't milled my second Kroxa yet. I guess I'll just get their last card out of their hand. It's just an island. I mean, if they flood out kind of bad, Kroxa could kill them pretty quick. You have a chance. Never mind, no chances. The mill deck drew a mill card off the top. Oh. Did you bring it inside? No. Well, I don't want to go out and look at the Shih Tzu. Well, I'm streaming, sweetheart. It's like you when you talk about building Black White Rock, it's like you can build. What was I even saying, Esther? Dang it, Esther. It's like your win conditions could be the rack, or they could be Darcy and Ragavan. You know, that's just like the trade-off you're making, which doesn't seem worth it. Oh, we're playing against Seth. I just noticed. When I see the dog, well, I can't move the webcam. It doesn't go quite that far. Mira has redeemed a pet Athena. Oh man. Esther, I think, went back outside with her. It's the first pet Athena redeemed in a long time. We'll get it done. Goblin Bombardment. Fatal Push. Okay. Guess I will Kroxa, get Delirium here. I don't know. Can you bring Athena in here? We have a pet Athena redemption. Did you bring the Shih Tzu inside or no? Oh, okay.
What, do you want me to?
I mean, no, but I
dirty.
Oh wait, I thought we had Delirium.
He's good. He's
Athena,
really friendly.
This wants to play. Oh, so this is the zombie deck. we don't have a window to get an instant in the yard here. It's kind of fine, just escape Kroxa next turn. Why didn't Seth make a treasure? Esther just totally left with Athena. We might have to refund the redemption. So much is going on. Yeah, I saw that Seth is playing the Liliana, the 4-mana Liliana that lets you cast zombies from the graveyard. So the combo is Bombardment, Shambling Ghast, 4-mana Liliana, and 1 mana to start the loop with. Can we get a mod to refund the pet Athena? I'm sorry. I don't know where Esther went. Discarded Gravecrawler for turn. Oh, man. Okay, but they're still dead to Kroxa. Yeah, I wanted to see her too. I don't know where Esther took her though. I don't know. He's kind of all over the place today. Okay, so let's bring in these Soul Guy Lanterns. Terminate's probably like our least efficient removal spell. And then Thoughtseize answers Liliana. We're gonna play 4 Thoughtseize is kind of a lot against like the Messenger deck. I think we'll be okay. Play 4 Thoughtseize, 3 Inquisition. Go down on Kolaghan's commands. Is Grixis Splash worth it? At the time of making this comment, I feel like the Rakdos variant's better, but I wanted to try it out, you know. I have a small sample size today. If Esther comes back with Athena, we'll give a free pet Athena for the stream, but I have no idea where she went. Maybe she's grabbing the Shih Tzu, I don't know. Don't play Delver of Secrets, I'm sorry. I hate to be the one to tell you. It's just not a very good card. We agree to let the combo play out if it does for Saffron Olive's sake. I mean, I don't think Saffron Olive wants to like click through 50 times to kill me. I think we both understand the combo. Is that something Seth wants? Is that I don't know. If I was in Seth's shoes, I would love for my opponents to concede and not have to click for 5 minutes. Survive with sack ping? I don't think so. It just dies to the 9 damage from Kroxa that turn. Ask him? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to sit here also. I mean, I'm going to concede either way. Even if that's something Seth wants, I'm not under any obligation to watch Seth click through the combo. I've got my own stream to run. You know what I mean? I've got my own stream. I don't want to sit and watch Seth click for 5 minutes. Oh, brutal. Alright, let's Inquisition on first. This is I mean, I get the keeping because of Leyline, I guess. Take the Shambling Ghast, I suppose. Then we can go discard their Fatal Push, cast Ragavan, then kill Carrion Feeder. Oh, they're holding a push. So like they should have cast the feeder. I'm not sure. Well, then Bombardment's kind of scary. Like with the Leyland in play, Ragavan is definitely our best way to win this game. Concedes? Is the Monke really that good? I don't know. The Leyline's out there, right? Alright, keeping this. I like the Demi-Lich avatar. Please don't be Mill again. I don't think the Mill matchup is, you know, unwinnable, but not super fun. It's a good draw. Leading on Basic Mountain would have been a bit awkward with the double discard spell here. Playing around a dashed Monkey by not bolting until combat here. And it's also, if this is the mirror, opponent can't have Drown. They're drawing Kolaghan's command, so I'm not sure. I guess this probably they're just the red-black variant, which I do think is the better of the two versions, to be fair. Like Fran's rant on the last Mishra's Bauble cast about just conceding to mill whenever he plays against it. That does not seem like a good way to get people to play mill less. I feel like people, if they're just gonna get free wins. I mean, I don't know. Can't you just play like? I mean, at least an Emrakul in the sideboard would give Fran's like Titan decks a more reasonable chance of winning, right? Alright, I'm gonna take the Lightning Bolt. Yeah, Lightning Bolt is one that they can cast kind of reactively to these Thoughtseizes, and then I'll just like this one of these Thoughtseizes can trade for Terminate at some point. Terminate's also like a little bit of a less efficient removal spell against us anyways. They do shuffle away the Kolaghan's command. Yeah, Wheel of Sun. I mean, it is certainly true that it's obnoxious that all of your sideboard hate that you could play for mill, like the big ones, like an Emrakul or Leyline of the Void or guys or Veil of Summer. Sorry, Leyline of Sanctity, Veil of Summer. None of Tasha's Hideous Laughter gets around all of them. That is definitely obnoxious that Tasha's Hideous Laughter gets around every sideboard card you could play for mill. And that is, it's like, why doesn't it target? And it exiles instead of mills, and it's that part is a bit obnoxious. I'll definitely concede that point. Your teammate Emrakul just gets exiled. Yeah, but the Emrakul like is at least good against the entire rest of your opponent's deck, right? That's the idea. Well, I think that we are supposed to play Lurrus into the removal spell here, because if we don't, we give our opponent the window to top deck a discard spell, and we have 3 Kolaghan's commands in our deck to get Lurrus back. But I understand, like, I mean, it no longer is true that you could just play one sideboard card for mill and almost never lose the matchup. And maybe that's fine, right? Because it used to be like, if you expected mill to be popular at all, you could play one sideboard card in your sideboard and you didn't even have to draw it, and then mill could just not beat you. Galactic Void, thank you for your subscription, appreciate ya. Scourge of the Skyclaves is their card on top. But do they want to shuffle to deny the info here? Did you play Thassa's Oracle? Well, the problem with Thassa's Oracle... Well, Lab Maniac is actually kind of interesting. Yeah, Lab Maniac is great against mill. They do have removal for it, though. But the problem with Oracle is that you have to, like, vial it in or something. They do shuffle it away. They still have access to their Lurrus, but if they put it into their hand, they open themselves up to us drawing a discard spell. Although we've already cast 3, so only have 4 more in the deck. They also don't have a Bauble. They do have a Ragavan, though. We also have a Ragavan, so let me Bauble them. This is going to inform if I want to dash or not. Yeah, they have Scalding Tarn on top, so no dash. Bit of an unfortunate to not draw an answer to their Lurrus, though. I guess we could draw Drown or something. Okay, Terminate is or something. The hand is Teamer, Battle Rage, 2 mystery cards. Oh, sorry, 1 mystery card. They're a little behind here, but this is a huge top deck. Kolaghan's command is probably the best draw. I'm gonna bubble myself. If I see like a Kolaghan's command or removal spell, I'm not gonna attack. If I do, if I don't, okay. We do see Unholy Heat, so yeah, let's not attack. Oh yeah, they might TBR their Monke. Yeah, they might TBR their Monke. So I guess I'm supposed to try to block. Although this does give them the window to draw Drown. I'm gonna try to get them to cast their TBR. Cool. That worked out super well for us. Jeez. They have a 3/3 Scourge. Towering over my Monke. Okay. Well, really good for us that we baited them into casting the TBR and not casting the second Scourge. And now, like, the Scourge is very big, but it's like they almost can't attack because of Ragavan unless they draw a creature or a removal spell. So they must have drawn one of those, right? Maybe they just don't care. Okay, they drew a creature. Now we need to top deck something. Would something like Beacon Bolt be good sideboard against Mill? If Beacon Bolt does what I think it does, I don't think so. Yeah, that doesn't deal damage to players, so I don't think it does much. Well, top of our library has not been super kind to us, huh? But we could get something off of our opponent's library. Okay, well, I guess we're not technically dead. Going down, we're playing 21 lands, Spandex. We are playing 21 lands. We are down a land from the Rakdos deck. Sometimes you still get flooded out, and it's okay. I think this is our sideboard plan. I might also choose to be on the draw. I think draw usually is good in these matchups. Yeah, theoretically our top decks are like should even be better in Grixis instead of Rakdos, because like Drown and Iteration are both crazy good top decks, right? But that's just Magic, you know? That's just Magic. Is there any way you can play Archmage Charm in Grixis? Yeah, you can. It's just a very different deck than this. The Splashing Blue and Mono Red Phoenix for Iteration overlap the stage. I think that's fine, yeah. Maybe even correct. I do think Iteration is better than Light Up the Stage in that list. I just haven't returned to like the more like prowess focused Phoenix list in a while because I've been focused on the Demi Lich. Or you need Terminate to have all the drowns? Well, Murktide region is still an issue. Oh, I accidentally chose to be on the play, but this hand's like way better on the play. But yeah, Drown doesn't always kill Murktide, so like having one extra answer is kind of nice. Even though Drown does kill Terminate, does kill Murktide probably a decent amount of the time. What's splashing black in the blue-red list? My big issue with like these splashes in these Darcy Ragavan decks is I'm of the opinion you don't want to splash a 1-mana spell. And so if you're gonna splash black in the blue-red list, it's probably for discard spells. And I mean, I of course I have issues with discard spells, counter spells in general, but it is also my opinion that if you're splashing a 1-mana spell, your mana is a lot worse. Where in this deck, we're splashing Iteration and Drown, which are 2-mana spells that you usually are going to cast on turn 3 or later, which makes your mana a lot smoother. Where like in the if you splash white in this deck for Prismatic, and then you're splashing like a 1-mana spell, and that just makes your mana base. It's obviously doable. It's not like your mana base just falls apart when you do something like that, but it does become worse. No land before attack for Drown. I guess I should have done that, huh? Although with the second Ragavan in my hand, I feel like this doesn't end up being that bad of an exchange. Yeah, you could definitely turn this into a shadow deck. It might even be better playing shadows. I guess I'm keeping that on top so I can go Darcy Drown next turn. Our Darcy's have Delirium. Their Darcy's dead. We get to Inquisition. Is there an argument to drop the Lurrus Kroxa package for Murktide Regent? Well, Murktide is a double blue card, which is tough on the splash. Murktide is also very good. But yes, I think if we're going to do that, just play blue-red Murktide, you know? At that point. Do this now to try to... I guess this is maybe bad because we lose out on the Surveils. I was just worried about them drawing a counterspell. Oh, they just did already draw the counterspell. Well, maybe this is fine. Because we just get to go land Darcy, attack them for 3, put them down to 6, and they need to draw a removal spell or they're dead. Which version of Stoneblade is most competitive? I've been liking the Jeskai Stoneblade deck I've been playing. Should be in the Stream Decker. I think we're going to play some of that today. Maybe soon today, if this deck goes poorly. Why did that get cast? Not sure. Anybody knows, let me know. Because it doesn't matter. And it's really soft to a turn 1 Ragavan. But also this hand is definitely a keep. Definitely gonna lead on Cliffs so that they can't play a turn 2 Scourge. They also build a 6 on the play, which is not very good against our double discard spell draw. Yeah, just take that. They can shadow next turn if they bolt themselves, which is totally fine. Yeah, we had a crazy. No beats. I can give you a free deck tech because I've been so slow on your billion channel points. How's that? Give you a free one. I am working on it though. Seems only fair. You're gonna counter my Inquisition? I'm gonna cast the Ragavan. No, it dies to the bolt, but I think we just exchange those resources here. Then is Tarn, Shadow, Bolt, right? Flex spots are sprites and Typhoon. Not sure about the mana base. Yeah, I've been really liking the sprite at the moment. So you're also Jeskai Stoneblade. Well, I don't know if you've seen. I've been playing a deck very similar to this. I don't know if you've seen it. But I'm playing a lower curve. I'm playing 21 lands, and I really like that lets you cut all these 4-drops. And then I was kind of finding that when I was playing versions like this, I was flooding out a lot. And if you go down on lands a bunch, then you're not going to flood out nearly as often. I just want to upkeep, make them discard, return Ragavan. So that's one thing. So you can look at my Stream Decker for like the version of this deck that I would recommend playing. Just a few notes though. Like one thing is I really dislike. Oh, so this is just straight blue-white. I see. Sorry, I just missed that. It's kind of funny that the Ragavan Triome is better in blue-white than Jeskai because you don't have Ragavan. But I think I just prefer Steam Vince over the Triome, to be honest. I think that like getting the untapped mana for Alpine Moon matters a lot post board, and then just like I would rather have that as your third color for Prismatic Ending. I've been liking that a bit more. Oh, you have 2 Steam Vince, and in that case that's just too many red sources. I think that you want like 1 or 2 fetchables, no more than that. They drew a Monke. I'm not a big fan of Shark Typhoon at the moment. I probably play it to Fairy Hero of Dominaria instead. I'd probably play the third Alpine Moon. I would also play like at least 2 Katakis in the sideboard. Sort of Fire Ice main over Feast and Famine is interesting. I've seen some people start to do that, and I'm maybe starting to think that that's correct. Can't afford Monke, gotcha. Fair enough. Shouldn't have spent all your channel points here, huh? Is Spell Stutter good as the only fairy? Yeah, so we were talking about this a little bit. But with the mana curves in Modern being like so focused on 1 mana spells right now, and like the cascading into 0 mana spells, it does seem to be totally fine to just not play any more fairies for support. Double check what I think you should cut for the Katakis. Probably, I think the second Verdict in the sideboard is pretty cuttable, especially if you're gonna have the Katakis in there. I also don't think you necessarily need all these Flusterstorms, since you have these Spellstutter sprites to make you better against the Cascade decks. So you can cut 1 or 2 of those too. So either the Verdicts or the Flusterstorms to make room for 2 or 3 Katakis. So I'm gonna go Bauble them, and then decide if I want to play or dash Ragavan based on that. They have Delta on top, so I'm just gonna cast Ragavan. Oh, wrong one drop. The Stony Silence dead. Kataki's just a lot better against them. Against the Hammer Time decks and the food decks. People keep saying Kataki's not good against Hammer Time, but I think people are just wrong. They have all these Springleaf Drums and Esper Sentinels and Ornithopters and Midnights that just, you know, crumble to the Kataki. It's like Kataki's good against the it's good against like the enablers more so than the payoffs, but I've been liking the card against them. Explain how Alpine Moon interacts with Saga. Alpine Moon kills all sagas, and that's all you need to know. Don't worry about it too much. So one's hand is Ragavan mystery card. Are these decks a bit weak to Murktide? A bit, yeah. But we're playing a Terminate in the main deck. Drown in Loch also, I think, is going to kill Murktide a decent amount of the time. It's also true that I'm under the impression that Blue-Red Murktide is on the decline. I have not played against the deck very much recently. Love that draw. This makes going for Lurrus here so good. Oh, Lurrus is their last card. I missed that, sorry. Kind of interesting. They get to go Lurrus Shadow. We have explosives in our graveyard. Why would Blue-Red Murktide be declining? I don't think it has a great Hammer Time matchup. It's okay. Honestly, it's like, if Blue-Red Murktide main decks 4 Archmage's Charms, like I've been yelling at everybody to do, all of a sudden your Hammer Time matchup is a lot better if you play 4 Charms. But that would be the big reason, is I think Hammer Time is like favored against like the stock versions of Murktide. Especially like Murktide Region is bad against Hammer Time, I found. It's just like so much smaller than all their creatures. Well, the problem with like Kataki not being like, I know Kataki's not bad against Hammer Time, even though people have been saying it is. But you say it's not the card you would pick. What card do you pick though? There's no one card that just beats Hammer Time. You know? You have to have a lot of sideboard cards for it. You have to have like you have to have Alpine Moons and like Wear Tears and Katakis or explosives, and you have to have like 6 sideboard cards for it. You can't just play one thing, unfortunately. Get to draw a couple cards. Oh, I should probably just dash Ragavan here, right? Yeah, dashing Ragavan seems pretty good against the Voidwalker that can't block it. And then like they obviously don't want to trade Lurrus here. Although maybe I guess with the Unearth and the Voidwalker, I don't want to trade Lurrus's. Cool. Okay, so we're not going to be able to kill their Voidwalker this turn. That's okay. This is far away been the best card against them. It's fine. But like, I mean, I'm playing explosives and Katakis in a lot of these decks. It's also true, like, if you're not a Lurrus deck, like if it depends on the deck. If you're playing Lurrus, explosives is the best card for sure. If you're not playing Lurrus, I think it gets a lot worse against them. But even just like 3 explosives in your sideboard, I think is not enough hate. And then Kataki's also like good against the food decks. Kataki's good against I guess it's like Affinity's falling off a bit, but Affinity's a little played. Okay, so we can EE on 2 next turn and then drown the Shadow and win. Yeah, Manriki Gusari is also the big tech. I'd recommend for something, probably something like a challenge super qualifier. Well, for challenges are really different than super qualifiers. Like the dynamics of those two tournaments are super different. Where like challenges are like, I mean, like the competition is really heavy for challenges because there just aren't a ton of tournaments these days, and so you have like a lot of like really enfranchised players playing them, and they're like way more stacked than they need to be. But the stakes are not that high, and so like you can, I think just kind of, you don't need to stress too much about your deck decision there. Like picking your deck for a super qualifier though is a very like complicated conversation. Right? Good match. Is Manriki actually tech or meme tech? I think it's good. I think Manriki is good against Hammer Time. It's not, it doesn't win you the game, but if you're already playing Stoneforge Mystic, like it makes a lot, like I would love to have a Manriki against the Hammer Time deck. And Hammer Time is the best deck in the format. And it just, I think it's good, yeah. Alright, let's keep this. This hand is really in on Monke. I think that we're gonna lead on Inquisition here. Yeah, he can also kill Titan, which is a big deal. The metagame is definitely fluctuating a lot right now. We're playing against Heliod, wow. Speaking of weird metagame, huh? Our draw's pretty good against them, but I feel like this matchup has got to be horrendous. They drew a Heliod. I need to take that Skyclave. Is your random mirror list much worth Liliana? Yeah, I would really not recommend that deck without Liliana, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna play in the Hunter Burton. I would not miss that tournament for anything. They played Forest on Temple Garden, so they drew something. That something is Utopia Sprawl, but okay, so this is fine. So great draw. Now we can go Iteration with Drown Up. Not gonna cast Conclave Mentor. Can't. Hand Unholy Heat, bottom, exile. Man, Iteration is just cracked in half. They have another copy of Ranger Captain on top of their library. So they have 2 Ranger Captains, 1 Sopeep, Temple Garden, Heliod. I'm gonna drown whatever creature they play this turn. Crazy 5 months, welcome back, appreciate ya. I think maybe I will just kill Ranger Captain. Nah, I think we just want to use the counter here. Because then they get to like play Arbor Elf, then we have to kill the Arbor Elf. Other iterations, not too bad. Let's see what we hit off the Ragavan. If I hit Coco, am I gonna cast Coco? Maybe. I don't have to make that decision, thankfully. So it should be relatively safe to put Lurrus in our hand here. Expressive might be worth it in Jeskai with 3 mana Teferi. I think you probably end up playing it over 3 mana Teferi in some of these decks, to be honest. But in like Jeskai Stoneblade, I don't think it plays very well in Stoneblade without like the lower curve with like Baubles, Darcy's. Well, that was their best top deck. 2 Spike Feeders though, we can kill those. Am I go Lurrus Bauble, or am I gonna Thoughtseize their Heliod? I guess I should probably Thoughtseize, hold up Terminate. Although, do I Thoughtseize the Ranger Captain, or do I Thoughtseize the Heliod? Probably the Heliod. Just so hard to interact with otherwise. Although, I mean, yeah, I don't think I'm even that scared of Ballista just being in their hand. If they get Arbor Elf to block Ragavan, we'll just trade and then replay a second Ragavan. This is fine too. Does anybody know who's favored in Heliod versus Hammer Time? Gotta be close, right? Very play draw dependent, I imagine. It used to be Heliod. I think it's Hammer Time now. It's interesting. I don't know. Uh-oh. So we can kill Skyclave, make them discard. Yeah, so I mean, Inkmoth can beat Infinite Life, but like oftentimes Infinite Life buys you a little bit of time, and then you know, can assemble your infinite damage combo. And you know, Heliod doesn't have a lot of interaction for the ramp and stuff. Let's see what they're drawing. See what we're drawing to, I guess. I think about blue-white control currently. I mean, regular blue-white control, I don't think is like particularly good. I think it would be splashing a color. But in general, I feel like they're not decks that I'm super excited to be playing right now. Yeah, the Fear Land does really help against the pro red creatures. This is how I can get needled though. It's named Ballista. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know who's favored in the matchup. It seems very dynamic though. So we kill Spike Feeder, make them discard on their draw step. They can put both counters on Ariok Champion though, which is kind of a headache, but so I guess we'll see what they're drawing. If it's not something we care about discarding, we don't really need to do anything yet. Conclave Mentor. Let me just attack with Darcy and then see what we draw off the Bauble. Saving the Kolaghan's command for like a crucial draw step is probably important. Oh my gosh, what the hell? Well, Esther brought a dog home, huh? Hi. Is it friendly? Is it nice?
Yeah,
Is
he's
it good?
super friendly.
Pretty good boy. And then there's Athena too. Does it have a collar or anything?
No.
No, he's dirty. He's nice. He's nice. Yeah, he's
so nice.
Athena
He's
says,
going
"Look, look." Does she like Athena?
Yeah, he likes her. He went up to us.
That's
He
good.
went up to another.
Okay, well, nice. I guess we have a new dog.
We have a good job. Hey, hey, Athena.
Athena's playing way too hard.
Yeah, Athena.
No, Athena just goes nuts whenever there's like someone new to play with.
Hey, Athena. Hey.
Oh well, I guess
Well,
is she being mean to?
Well, she's just aggressive.
So yes. He's just super aggressive, says Esther. didn't think that I'd ever see thing to get mean with a dog. Maybe I did need to break up the Conclave Mentor Spike Feeder thing. They're drawing Ariak Champion. Well, I really want to discard that. Let's see if they probably will Spike Feeder though. We probably just need to go kill Spike Feeder. They're not gonna do that. So if I do 2 damage to anything, they just put a counter on it. I guess I just deal 2 to them, make them discard, and they can just have their Spike Feeder Conclave Mentor, I guess. I mean, I don't think we're keeping the dog. Esther knows to like check if it's chipped too, I think. You deal 2 to the feeder. If I deal 2 to the feeder, they remove a counter, put the counter on the feeder, and then Conclave Mentor puts an extra counter on it. That doesn't really work. Keep a Lightning Bolt though. Okay, Drown seems really important to keep up here. Did I already Bauble? It didn't Bauble already. Is Ariak Champion better than Sanctifier? No, not against us. The reason why I'm not playing Snapcaster is because it's unfortunately worse than like every other grindy card in the deck. I wish that that wasn't the case, but it is the case in my opinion. It's just like it's a worse grindy card than Expressive Iteration. It's a worse grindy card than Kroxa. There just isn't room for more cards like that in the deck. Snapcaster has also always been worse in decks like this that play discard spells instead of counter spells. It does. We do have some counter spells in Drown, but you don't. Snapcaster is. It's no longer the case that Snapcaster is just such a good card that you put it in every deck like this. You know what I mean? I think my opponent doesn't know about this interaction. Just drew a land for turn. You can activate. Yeah, they don't know about the Spike Feeder Conclave Mentor thing. They just don't understand, I think. Why fetch before Bauble? Because we have the Surveils coming up from Darcy. And I wanted to make sure I get the untapped land without messing up the Surveils on Darcy. So we're going to win game 1. What's the Spike Feeder Mentor interaction? You remove a counter from Spike Feeder by spending 2 mana. You put a counter on a creature. And then that creature gets 2 counters from the Conclave Mentor. Maybe where you could bolt or kill in response. So they have to do something with their mana, right? They also have enough to activate 3 times, so I don't know. What do you think about? I don't think this deck needs any more threats. Kroxa is such an inevitable threat that you don't need to be. I think this is a plenty. You could play like one more Kroxa, but I don't think you need Sprite Dragon. Alright, so playing against Heliod. Bring in the Pyrite Spellbomb and the Engineered Explosives. Probably cutting Ragavans on the draw, maybe down to 1. Play the one we opened the other day. Terminate seems a little inefficient. I probably want like the 4th Thoughtseize over the 4th Inquisition too. Coco is just such a big game. Maybe I'll just play 8 discard spells. Yeah, winning game 1 is a huge deal because, you know, games 2 and 3 they probably have Sanctifiers. Although Explosives is very good against like Heliod because they now have Sanctifier and Ariak Champion, and then Explosives is like kind of likely to get a 2-for-1 post board. Is the idea that this deck goes a touch bigger to get the edge on the blue red black? Yeah, that's the general thought. It's also that Drown in the Loch gives you a game against some of your tougher matchups game 1, like the Cascade decks. And Drown is also like very good against Hammer Time. Would I recommend 4 Drown or 2x Counterspell, 2 Stub, and Grixis Shadow? Well, I'm not a huge fan of Stub and Grixis Shadow at the moment because I think Grixis Shadow should be playing Darcy Ragavan. I talk about 1 of Chalice on the side with no way to tutor. I mean, it's just like 1 more card against the Cascade decks. If you draw it, you get to play it on 0. You can also, like, you know, dig for it with, you have a decent amount of card advantage in the deck, but it's not like you need to draw it to win those matchups. Is it Bob's time to come back if the best threats are Darcy and Ragavan? Absolutely not, because if the best threats are Darcy and Ragavan, everybody's going to play a ton of 1-mana removal spells that are really good against Bob. Love for them to play another 2-drop here. They did not. Guess I'm just going to get a Blood Crypt and Heat the Mentor. Well, that's the other thing is it's like Darcy Ragavan, they're 1 mana, so if you exchange Darcy Ragavan for a 1 mana spell, it's usually not that big a deal. If you're going to exchange Dark Confidant for a 1 mana removal spell, that's a bad exchange for you. Probably should just bolt the Skyclave here. Hard Evidence is some spicy tech. Oh, that's the Crab? Yeah, I saw Manguchi was playing Crab Blade this morning. Looked pretty cool. Hey Kodo, how you doing? I probably need to upkeep stop. I didn't get there in time. Although, maybe it ended up working out better. No Veil of Summer, no Veil of Summer, no Veil of Summer. Please. Please and thank you. We need a creature or artifact in the yard to get Delirium here. Not the end of the world if we don't, of course. Graveyard the Thoughtseize. That's one thing I've really liked about Darcy and these discard decks is that Darcy manages your top decks, and top decking discard spells is always such an issue, and Darcy mitigating that is, in my opinion, a pretty big deal. Did you Coco? Or is this Ballista? Looks like Ballista. I don't like to play background music on stream because I value having a stable Twitch career. They have collected company on top. That's a huge problem. I do like rap, yeah. Awesome. Super whitelisted. Yeah, it's also just generally better for the stream to not have background music, in my opinion. Like, if you want to listen to background music, you can play whatever music you like, you know? They're drawing another Coco? Oh no. Okay, we have the lightning bolts if they hit Heliod Spike Feeder. But they can do like oh man. Okay, well fair enough then, huh? Back-to-back Cocos. I mean, we drew really well, so we just have nothing to complain about. Okay, and we even have Pyrite Spellbomb to deal with Ariak Champion. Every game with Darcy, there's a secret catch of terrible draw steps that didn't happen. Yeah, I know. Darcy's so nuts. They get their second Ballista, their second and probably last Ballista. The most requested feature for Twitch. How would that work, allowing viewers to control the streamer's music, like, mechanically? I probably want to graveyard this. I would kind of like to find Inquisition or Thoughtseize for the Ballista. Or another Drown in the Loch, huh? Just separate audio channels? Yeah, I mean, it's probably doable, but I mean, one issue is that Twitch doesn't control the broadcasting software. It's the, you know what I mean? You're not like broadcasting through Twitch's software. It's a different third-party program called Streamlabs usually. And so like that would be maybe an obstacle to overcome. All right, bounce back, 3-1. I can keep this. What was the loss to? Was it mill? I think Archon of Cruelty is on the top of my opponent's library. Probably gonna miss the Voidwalkers a bit. Okay, they have 2 Archons on in hand, and then another one on top. This Kroxa looking really bad though. I'm gonna take this Thrilling Discovery, I guess. Burger gifted a sub to Bam. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I mean, Kroxa is looking terrible here. If I play Darcy, though, she's just gonna die to the Bone Shards. So I guess I'll Kroxa. Before Persist off the top. Ooh. That's a good draw for them. They're gonna take my Expressive Iteration, I assume. Yeah. It has Archon, Rights, Bone Shards. I don't want to give them a target for the Bone Shards. I guess it doesn't matter that much. Yeah, let me just go Darcy and then bolt them and try to surveil into a land. If they Bone Shards my Darcy, they're not going to Bone Shards the Kroxa. Just gotta try to kill them before they get... I mean, they either draw two more lands for Rights or just 1 Persist, so I feel like we don't have that much time. Stick to the plan, I guess. I leave sorcery land artifact in the graveyard for because we have instant in our hand. So you could have left creature quite a bit better because we have the command. Yeah, should have left the Darcy. Really, the hand is Archon, 2 mystery cards. Two mystery cards. They're dead next turn. Discard Sarah's Emissary. I feel like they should have discarded that last turn. It did not draw a Persist though, lucky us. Gonna bring in the Lanterns against the Reanimator deck, just good clean magic. Unholy Heat does kill Archon. Feels like Voidwalkers if they bring those in. This is probably the sideboard plan, right? Unearth is maybe fine. Seems like they've got a lot. It looks like they're playing like a version of when I was playing Monday, just like a white black rock deck with a reanimation plan, but they're main decking the Angel. Kind of interesting. I want an Earth more than like the second Heat. Although if they're playing Liliana, actually Heat's probably pretty good. Maybe we can cut the third Kolaghan's command. Okay, guess we keep this. Great draw. We go Blood Crypt Darcy on turn 1. They're drawing a Blood Crypt. I'm playing Soul Guide over a Nihil Spellbomb because Living In plays Leyline of Sanctity in their sideboard. They will bring it in against you, and it will stop your Nihil Spellbomb from working. Just take the Persist. Maybe I shouldn't because I have this Lantern, but I'm not that worried about Prismatic. I guess Prismatic Ending answers the Lantern. Yeah, I probably should take it. How's the mana been for the deck? It's like a lot more painful and it's less consistent than Rakdos, of course, but it's not that big a deal either. It's just like, you know, you're definitely sacrificing consistency for power level, which is fine. I think it's still my opinion that Rakdos is probably the better variant. Cheering 10 months, welcome back, appreciate you. All right, really fast match. Play one more with this deck, then I think we're gonna switch over back to the Jeskai Stoneblade deck. Good league though. I don't know what I'm playing tomorrow. I want to convince myself to play that Jeskai Stoneblade deck. I feel like it's a good choice for the Hammer Time dominated metagame. I feel like there's just going to be infinite Hammer Time this weekend.